Hello and welcome to today's video in which we're going to be diving deeper into derivatives and solving derivatives of polynomials through adding and subtracting. In next videos, we're going to be multiplying and then dividing. But first, we'll start with something simple that is just adding and subtracting. So, first of all, we know that the formula for finding our derivative is the following. Limit of h approaching to 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. But, as I explained before, this formula will take a lot of time to take, especially if you have an exercise like the following. Let's just start right with practicing with an exercise. F of x is equal to 3x to the power 4 plus 5x to the power 3. And g of x is equal to 2x squared minus 4x. So imagine for this exercise, you'd have to first input this function and derive it, which would take a lot of steps, then input this function and derive it, which would also take a lot of steps, and etc. It would be very tiring. So let's just apply the concepts that we learned before, which is when we have something that's adding, if we have a y that is f of x plus g of x, which is what we want to find, this is what we are looking for, then the derivative is simply f prime of x plus g prime of x. So let's just get started right to it. Since we have values inside f of x and g of x that are just adding and subtracting from each other, then we can directly derive each of the values. So we can derive this, then this, then this, then this, and put it all together. So let's just write down our y first, our function, which is 3x fourth to the power 4 plus 5x to the power 3, and this is plus 2x squared minus 4x. So let's start by deriving our first value. We know we have here 3x to the power 4. As we learned in the previous video, if we have x to the power of n, this is derived to n times x to the power of n minus 1. Remember, you have to memorize these formulas as they are generally worth it and you will use them a lot. So, n, our forwards are n. 4 times 3 is 12. 12x to the power of 4 minus 1, 3. Plus, let's move right to this one. We do the same thing here. We apply this concept. 3 times 5, 15. X, 3 minus 1, 2. And then plus, we apply exactly the same thing, 2x squared, 4x minus, and here, since we have a constant multiplying an x, we just cancel the constant for our derivative, and we cancel the x, and we just keep the constant, so 4x minus 4. So, our final function is simply 12x to the power of 3 plus 15x to the power of 2 plus 4x minus 4. This is our derivative of adding these two functions. Let's practice with a second example. F of x is equal to 4x to the power of 5 minus 2x to the power of 3, and g of x is equal to x to the power of 4 plus 3x to the power of 2. And what we want to find is f of x plus g of x. Well, this is what we have, and we want to derive it. So, f of x minus g of x. So, instead of, as we mentioned before, applying this formula for both of the functions, let's just apply the concept that we know, that this is simply f prime of x minus g prime of x. So, we can solve these individually, and let's just get started. Y prime of x is equal to 4x to the power of 5. We use the concept that we have already used before. X to the power of n is n times x to the power of n minus 1. So 20x to the power of 4, same thing here, minus 6x to the power of 2, minus x to the power of 4 is just 4x to the power of 3, plus 6x. And this is eventually, this is wrong, y prime is 20x to the power of 4 minus 4x to the power of 3 minus 6x to the power of 2 minus 6x. And this is our derivative of adding these two functions. Thank you for watching. I hope you have understood, and check out my next video in which I'll be explaining the multiplications of derivatives.